Police are searching for the suspect who robbed a PNC bank on March 6th.
And police are looking for the suspect who sexually assaulted a woman near the Vienna Metro on February 13th.
And this woman has been taken to the Fairfax County Adult Detention Center and charged with murder.
All this and more coming up on this edition of FCPD Newsline.
Welcome to FCPD Newsline. Each week we highlight crime reports and stories of interest from the law enforcement community. I'm Master Police Officer Tim Thomas.
And I'm Officer Kevin Baldassarri. Fairfax County Police have charged 5 people for their alleged connection with thefts from members at a Centerville fitness facility. Between August 2007 and February 7, 2008, 21 larcenies were reported at the Lifetime Fitness located at 5900 Trinity Parkway. In each case, the victim's property was stolen from a locked locker. An investigation by detectives at the Sully District Police Station led to a family employed by the club. Angel Arturo Gamara Carver, 19, of Chad's Landing Way in Manassas, was charged with 3 counts of grand larceny and 2 felony counts of possession of burglarious tools. Rose Gamara, 41, and Yanni Javier Gamara Jara, 41, also of the same address, were each charged with 1 felony count of embezzlement and 1 misdemeanor count of possession of stolen property. All 3 turned themselves in at the Sully District Police Station on the evening of February 25th. Further investigation revealed that 2 acquaintances of the family were also involved. Gianfranco Salcedo, 20, and Italo Salcedo, 19, both of Locke Drive in Centerville, were each charged with 1 felony count of possession of stolen property, 1 felony count of possession with the intent to sell stolen property, and 1 felony count of possession with the intent to sell marijuana. Gianfranco Salcedo was also charged with 1 felony count of possession of cocaine. Both men were arrested at their home and transported to the Fairfax County Adult Detention Center on February 23rd. Police are in the process of returning recovered property to known victims. Detectives believe there may be other club members who were victimized but did not report their losses.
Fairfax County Police impounded 2 cars on February 26 after 2 18-year-old Fairfax drivers were charged with street racing. An officer witnessed a Volkswagen GTI and a Toyota Supra stopped at the light on Burke Center Parkway at Roberts Parkway, each driver allegedly revving the engines and spinning the tires. The light turned green and both drivers sped off at a high rate of speed. Oscar Cornejo of John Ayers Drive and Luis Violeta of Lavery Court were both charged with racing on a highway. They were released on summonses and both cars were impounded, awaiting court proceedings. The Fairfax County Police Department is dedicated to keeping the streets safe. Street racing in Fairfax County will not be tolerated. Anyone racing is subject to loss of a vehicle, license, suspension for up to 2 years, imprisonment for up to 12 months, and a maximum fine of $2,500.
Fairfax County Police are releasing a composite sketch of the suspect in an attack which occurred on February 13th. That morning, a 24-year-old woman was assaulted. The Fairfax woman was walking on a footpath toward the Vienna Metro station in the area of Fairley Drive and Lee Highway. A stranger grabbed her from behind and pulled her into the woods. He covered her mouth and touched her inappropriately. The suspect was scared away by approaching citizens. Detectives would like to hear from anyone who may recognize this man or have information on the incident. He was described as Hispanic, clean-shaven, approximately 5 feet 6 inches tall and 160 pounds.
All citizens are reminded to keep personal safety in mind. Be alert. Someone not paying attention to their surroundings is an easy target. Be confident. Walk with a purpose. Look alert and do not zone out. Trust your instincts. Learn to trust intuition and react to unsettling feelings. Remember, if it doesn't feel or look right, it probably is not right. For additional tips, please visit our website at www.fairfaxcounty.gov/police.
2 armed robberies occurred within an hour of each other, about a mile apart, on the evening of February 28th. An 85-year-old Alexandria area man was approached in the parking lot of the Sunrise Assisted Living Community at 8035 Holland Road by 2 men, both displaying handguns. They knocked the victim to the ground and demanded money. The suspects made off with an undisclosed amount of cash. The second victim, a 20-year-old Alexandria area man, was sitting in his car in the 7700 block of Dove Drive when he was approached by 2 men. One of the suspects displayed a handgun, the other a knife. They also demanded money and left with an undisclosed amount of cash. In both cases, one suspect was white and one was black. They were both in their late teens to early 20s, wearing dark clothing. A third suspect, also a black male, was seen with the first 2. However, there is no further description of that suspect.
A maintenance worker found a 41-year-old Springfield area man who had been beaten and sexually assaulted in an apartment complex laundry room in the 6100 block of Backlick Road. The victim was found on the morning of February 28 and was transported to Inova Fairfax Hospital with life-threatening injuries. This investigation is in its early stages. However, police believe the incident may be related to an earlier report of a Honda Accord stolen near the crime scene on February 27. Maryland police authorities recovered that vehicle on East-West Highway early in the morning on March 3. Police arrested a man in connection to the malicious wounding. The investigation led detectives to German G. Gratis Flores, 27, of no fixed address. Warrants were obtained charging Gratis Flores with 2 counts of grand larceny and 1 count of attempted grand larceny. He was taken to Fairfax Adult Detention Center. Additional charges are pending. We'll be back with more FCPD Newsline after this.
Is this your idea of government work? Well, let Fairfax County shatter those old illusions. At Fairfax County, we offer a wide assortment of exciting career opportunities, jobs you thought were only available in the private sector. Check out all the possibilities online at fairfaxcounty.gov. Fairfax County, come for a job, stay for a career.
Police responded to a report of a domestic dispute in the early hours on March 3rd in the 1400 block of Crowell Road. Upon arrival, officers discovered the body of Ronald K. Jaguar, 60, at the home. He had been shot in the upper body. Police have arrested the victim's wife, Mary Susan Jaguar, 52, of Crowell Road. She was transported to the Fairfax County Adult Detention Center and has been charged with murder.
A 47-year-old Annandale area woman and her 10-year-old daughter were asleep in their apartment when an intruder entered and attempted to sexually assault the mother. In the early hours on March 4, the victim awoke to a noise in her bedroom. She saw a man standing at the foot of her bed. The suspect made physical contact with the victim, but the victim was able to convince the suspect to allow her to check on her daughter. The victim and her daughter were able to flee the apartment and summon help. Officers established a perimeter and could see the suspect still inside the apartment. They entered and confronted the suspect, who initially resisted and was momentarily incapacitated when a conductive energy device was deployed. Alfredo M. Baxon, 31, of no fixed address, was transported to the Fairfax County Adult Detention Center and charged with burglary, abduction, and resisting arrest.
A 37-year-old woman and her 42-year-old boyfriend, both from the Alexandria area, awoke to the sound of breaking glass in the early hours on March 5th. The couple was asleep in the bedroom of their townhouse on Roxbury Lane when they heard glass being broken and gunshots. Officers determined that approximately 3 bullets passed through the window and entered the bedroom. Additional rounds were found to have hit the front of the townhouse. Neighbors reported hearing the gunshots and the sound of a car with loud exhaust leaving the area. There is no suspect information at this time. FCPD Newsline will be back right after these messages.
On the morning of March 5, an 11-year-old girl was inappropriately touched. The student was walking on a path off of Millway Drive when a man approached her. He spoke with her briefly about dirt on her jacket. He approached to wipe it clean and simultaneously grabbed her buttocks. The man turned and walked in the other direction. She quickly walked away and reported the incident at school. The suspect was described as black, in his late 20s to early 30s. He was about 5 foot 10 inches tall and 185 pounds. He had black hair, brown eyes, and a goatee.
A man stole several items from the Marshall's store at 6200 Little River Turnpike in the Landmark Plaza in the afternoon on March 4th. A 30-year-old loss prevention officer from Woodbridge working at the store watched the suspect conceal clothing and approached him. The suspect pulled out a sharp object, swung it at the victim, but did not injure him. The victim backed away and the suspect fled with the merchandise. The suspect was described as black, about 35 years old. He was approximately 5 feet 8 inches tall, 165 pounds. He wore an orange short-sleeved shirt and blue jeans.
In the afternoon on March 4, 3 teenagers stole liquor from the ABC store at 6198 Arlington Boulevard. The young men walked into the store, then one grabbed a couple of bottles and immediately walked out of the store. The 33-year-old Falls Church area clerk stopped the other 2 and demanded payment for the items. One of the suspects pulled out a knife and threatened the clerk. The remaining 2 suspects each grabbed a bottle and left the store. The suspects were described as white, 5 feet 5 inches tall, and between 150 to 180 pounds. They all wore blue jeans. One had a black t-shirt, another a blue t-shirt, and the third a jersey with the number 7 on it and a white jacket. The case is still under investigation. But on the evening of March 8, police arrested Sidney Gutierrez after being recognized as one of the suspects of a robbery at the ABC store on Arlington Boulevard. Gutierrez, 18, of Patrick Henry Drive, was stopped, questioned, and subsequently arrested. He was charged with robbery and transported to the Fairfax County Adult Detention Center.
A 17-year-old student was stabbed outside of Mount Vernon High School, 8515 Old Mount Vernon Road, in the afternoon of March 5th. The victim was walking home when a car pulled along next to him and the occupants displayed gang signs. One passenger got out of the car and allegedly stabbed the victim in the arm. The suspect got back into the car with 2 others and fled. The victim was taken by witnesses to Innova Mount Vernon Hospital with non-life-threatening injuries and later transferred to Innova Fairfax Hospital. Police responded to the hospital to question the victim and were able to identify 3 suspects.